Hi there, and welcome to my first challenge. My first challenge is going to be about cards. In fact, I'm a card making fanatic, as you'll come to understand. But I just wanted to talk a couple of little things about cards, and I'm sorry if I'm teaching you to suck eggs. I'm no expert. I haven't been doing it a long time or anything like that. I just really enjoy making cards. And I just wanted to go through a couple of things. And the first I'll start with is the size of cards. Now, I usually make my cards like this or like that. So that orientation, portrait, that orientation, landscape. And the cards are 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. 4 1/4, 5 1/2. And the reason for that is that cardstock, unless you buy the 12 by 12 sheets, comes in 11 by 8 1/2 inch size. And you can either cut it that way or that way, and to get 2 cards out of each sheet. And because all I've got here is this cutter here, the guillotine, and so and it only goes this length, which is what, 8? Is it 8 or something like that? Anyway, it's this length here, and so I can only fit my cards in that way, and that's why my cards come out to be like this, because I don't really want to cut it with a ruler or a ruler and a blade to get to get the cards in the other orientation, which would be a top folding card and a side folding card. It would be a top folding card from there and a side folding card there. And I, I'm not fussed about getting the top folding card to be a slim one like that. I'm not really fussed about that, so I'm quite happy to do mine just like that. Occasionally I'll do different cards. For example, this is like I do templates and things. I have cards that come out like that. So so again, it's 11 inches long by, that one's 3 3/4 wide. So I make all different kinds of cards, but usually no wider than 4 1/4. So there was that. So I do the standard size cards, because that's how I buy my cards, card stock. And occasionally I will buy cards that come already made with the envelope like this. If I find them cheap, then I'll buy them like this. Otherwise I just usually stick to the cardstock there, and that's what I do. So there is that bit out the way. Just talk a little bit then. So I like to mat my images. I like to do image cards. I like to do the little image cards, and I like to mat them back on cardstock there. And so that means that when I use my design paper as well, I like to mat them either behind there or on the card. It just depends what I feel like at the time. I do them several different ways. For example, this one here, this is the card, and then I've matted these design paper on another piece of cardstock there. So I do it several different ways that way. And the design paper is, when you're card making, I use the design paper sheets there. This is an 8 by 8, and this is a 6 by 6. And the reason why I use these smaller pads of paper is because, of course, the designs are scaled down for the cards. Otherwise, the designs on there are too big, and the cards just don't look right. So when you get the 12 by 12 pads for scrapbooking, they don't look right on the card unless you're doing a big card, because the patterns in that are just too big. Whereas the smaller pads, all the patterns are scaled down to make it look better. So there's that little bit there. You don't need a lot. I mean, if you're just don't need a lot of equipment for making cards. If you're just doing something as simple as this, then all you do is you measure what size you are and just cut and then just fit there. So you don't actually need a lot. You can use glue sticks as well instead of using the rolls of double-sided tape. You can use glue sticks. You can make it as cheap as you want, and just be aware that sometimes when you use glue sticks, the glue doesn't last a long time on there. So if you're actually selling your cards, then you've got to use something a little bit stronger to make sure that the card lasts. You don't want it falling apart before someone's bought it off you. So there's that there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this card together and then just talk a little bit about, now before I put it together, I'll just talk a little bit about the pattern of the card and how that affects how you place things on the card. So I've got this, cut out this design paper, and it's 4 by 5 1/4, which gives you a nice little border around the design paper. So first thing you need to do is decide which way around you're going to have your card, whether you're going to do it in portrait or landscape. I usually prefer this way as well, because when you do cards that way, quite often if your cardstock is too thin, then the card just slips open, so it's easier to do it that way around. So you decide on which way around you're going to have your card. Now if you see this design, the design goes across there, so you're left with a space there and a lot of pattern there. So when you put your card on, when you put your image on, you have to decide where's the best place for your image. Is it going to be there? Is it going to be there? If you have it this way around, would it be there? Would it be there? So you have lots of decisions to make, and it all comes down as to what pleases your eye, whether the picture is balanced, like would you have it there and have your picture down there, or picture up there? So if you understand what I mean there. And then of course if you have your image there, and then where would you put your sentiment if you're going to bother with the sentiment? Sometimes the design paper is nice enough just to have the image on, because the design paper takes care of the rest. But if you want to put a sentiment on there, how big are you going to make the sentiment, and whereabouts are you going to put it to balance the card up? So would you have it there? Would you have it there? If you turn it around this way, makes more sense to have it that way, because the sentiment goes there and it's easier to see. The sentiment would get lost in all that there. And would you have, say you had the image there and a smaller sentiment at the side, and would you put it there or there? You know, as you play around with it, you can see what pleases the eye more, and actually it looks better there. And it would be the same there if you had the image there. Where you're going to put your sentiment, would you put it there? It sort of gets lost because it's a small one there. Okay, so there's all those things to think about, and that's when you're making a card. So my challenge for you now is we're going to make a simple card, just the two elements, which is the sentiment and the image. And my challenge to you is, with this sentiment here, hello, is that I want you to make a card that says hello, hi, hello friend, howdy, how you doing, what's up, whatever sentiment you like, whatever image you like, put it all together and send it to a member of the group and introduce yourself. And don't send it to someone you already know, because of course we know crafters and we all get round on the same groups and say hello to people and that. Don't send it to someone you already know, someone that's already a friend. Send it to someone you don't know. Introduce yourself. Maybe Like you can start up a little friendship that way just by talking to someone you don't normally talk to, or you don't normally know, or you don't belong to the same group before. So what I'm quickly going to do then is make the card, and the challenge will be yours. So what I'm going to do is add some double-sided tape to, and I'm not in view there, am I? There you go. Double-sided tape to the design paper. I like the tape you can rip as well, and I'm almost out of this one, and I haven't been able to get any more of the other sort here, so I've had to go with the red line tape, which is a lot stronger, but you have to cut it, and then when you tear the strips back on it, the little bits of plastic stick to your hands and they don't come off properly, and you're like flicking it off, and it's a bit of a pain. So as I just said, I'm going to have mine portrait style. I'm going to have it with the sentiment in the bottom left, with the pattern on the paper in the bottom left hand corner. So I'm going to centre this up as much as I can. Don't know whether you can see that. So that's how I'm doing that one there. I'm just going to put my, oh yeah, what I was going to quickly mention before, so I've just remembered, is that when you have your little sentiment, why do I keep calling her a sentiment? When you have your image on your backing paper, on your little border thing, is what you can do, of course, is just slightly put it off centre, off kilter, and then that just adds another little design touch to the card as well. But we're just going to keep it simple for your first card, because you can make it up quickly if you do that. Keep it simple. And there you go, look, I'm out of it's the end of that roll. I've got to use this red line tape. It's not my favourite tape to use, as I say, because it's a little bit more difficult to use. What I like to do as well is, if I haven't managed to get the tape to the end of the paper, is just to overlap it at the corner so that all the paper sticks down. So make sure you get it all along to the end, and if you don't manage to, just do that little bit of overlap there, and you'll just make sure that everything is stuck down onto the border. Anyway, you can hear that. It's raining here today again. I hope I haven't bored you senseless with my little talk there about the cards. And as I say, I don't mean to teach you to suck eggs, but some people won't know, because some people don't make cards. And I'm hoping that if you're a person who doesn't make cards, then you'll find what I just said interesting, somewhat. Not everybody likes to make cards, I know that. It's a little passion of mine, though. See what I mean about this flipping strips just sticking to you there? Makes a mess of me, it does. Irritates me. Gotta find me some of the other tape. Here we go. So we're just going to centre this one on the little border piece there. And then just decide where it is you're going to put it, and I decided that way, didn't I? There. Do you know, I might change my mind. Might change my mind and do that, actually. What do you think then? Do you think it looks better there? That way? Or that way? Now I'm just going to think about this a second, because I changed my mind. Yeah, don't change your mind. Have it planned out first. So I'm just going to see which way looks better to me. Actually, I'm going to stick it to the way I originally thought. Looks better. That's why you don't just stick it on there first. You think about where you're going to place it. Or you follow a card sketch. And we're going to be doing card sketches as well at some point. And we'll do card lifts. And we're going to do we're going to case cards. We're going to do one layer cards. Might talk about how to colour the images, or might not, just depends what you think. I'm not Copic certified, but I can colour an image. I think I can colour in an image. So I'll show you how to colour the image in with pencils. This stuff is so annoying when it sticks to you. Yeah. I'm going to pop this up here because I think the design paper is just pretty enough to take it. So pop that there. What I'm going to do is just stick the one side of the hello to there, and then pop the other side up with a little bit of foam tape. What you're going to do is make sure you put the foam tape on the right side as well, and then pop this on here. That's the finished card. So my challenge to you is to make a hello, welcome, hello friend, how you doing, just anything like that, and send it to a member in the group that you don't already know, or someone you don't know very well, and let's get to know one another and make some crafty friends. Okay, that's all for today. Thanks again. Bye.